Hi guys, very good morning and good evening and good afternoon. Most of you guys are from India. Thank you, Bala, for joining today and then helping us to understand about few techniques about ABAP. And then most of you don't know about Bala and me. We work together in one of the multinational company as he is a technical lead, and then I worked as a functional lead, and then we worked together almost a couple of years, maybe approximately 5 to 6 years. And Bala is having like very good in-depth technical knowledge, and he used to resolve most of the issues in the project for me, and he's supporting in a lot good things. And then we used to have a lot of discussions about the subject and the topic and all other things. Yeah, now I will hand over this time to Bala to talk about the subject and then his introduction.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, hello all. Good morning, good evening, good night. So today, myself Balakrishna Gajula, having 11 years of experience in EWM. So today I will go and give you some technical background information in EWM system. I know the night scare of that functional consultant to debug that logic whenever you are stuck in that some technical or got that error message to resolve, give you that solution. So today I will give you this some details how we can debug that standard logic to help us to resolve that issues. And also I give you the some background information, technical background information about that RF development as technical configuration things. And also if time permit, then I will go and give you the configuration of the SAP monitor node technical side. So let me log in the SAP system EWM. It is a decentralized system. So you know the RFC function models and BAP function model to connect with the different systems as well as that update and read the data from different system. So first I'm created that simple report to connectivity from EWM to EC system to get the price details. So we don't have the price details in EWM system, but somehow we have requirement like to get the product information like price information get from that EC system. So we have one report. This is the custom report. So we are going to get the price details from the E system. So this is EWM. We have one more system is there, EC system. So we are going to connectivity from EWM to EC system. Okay. So I will go and debug the functionality to explain how we can connectivity from different system through the RFC. So this is the my technique first object. Okay, so first of all, how we can communicate it between the two systems. So you know that RFC logical system. So we define that EWM logical system in the configuration, and ECC logical system in that. Sorry, if not, can you mute yourself? Thank you. So SM59 is the transaction to connectivity from EWM to E system. So here I'm just going to give you that basic settings. Like suppose we have that EWM of E74 client 7. So here is the basic guys are set up to this EWM as a connectivity from EWM to ECC. So here we have this this is called as a logical system name for ECC. So if you go and here click on the remote login, So we can test the connectivity. Suppose here
బాత్రూంలో
or
ఉందండి.
here is asking the credential of the EWM system. So if you enter that credential like username and password, if we able to log in, then we can able to log in through that RF system. So this is the basic setting behind that call from EWM to ECC. Like any, like if you send that CFM means Metal Master from ECC to EWM, or you can do that goods receipt or goods issue to connectivity through the queues. So these are the basic setting behind that communicated from EWM to ECC. Now coming to that our requirement, we want to get the price details from EWM to ECC through the logical system. So here I'm just give you that example. I just run that one, this report, and I'm just entering the product master. If I go and enter, so I got that some information. This is like suppose 1000 records. So here maintaining that, so you know that vk 11 price maintaining, so here we can maintain the price details. So here I am eating that condition type A001 and material. It is all the vk13. So we have already maintained that one. Let me go to get that sales order details. So inside function model we have hard coded. Let's debug this functionality first, then we can able to understand. So there are two ways to do the debugging any standard or custom logic. So here we can simply put an breakpoint. Suppose if you know that report or function module name. So for report we have transaction. So if aware not aware, so SC38 is the transaction to know display the program name or include. So if we have, so you can put as a program name on SC38 transaction and click on display button. So it will give you the technical code. So here if you want to know about that function model name or something select queries, then we can put a breakpoint. So there is two ways to debug the logic. So either you can go that SC38 transaction and that editor, and you can directly jump into that technical code and put a breakpoint here, the set delete session breakpoint. Select that, choose the cursor line and choose the breakpoint here. This is the set delete session breakpoint. So one more breakpoint is available, set delete external breakpoint. So we have two breakpoint, one is session breakpoint, one is the external breakpoint. So the difference between that session and external breakpoint here, suppose the session breakpoint when it trigger only within the system, like suppose you are executing this report in the EWM, so we can able to trigger this breakpoint, session breakpoint. So external breakpoint is suppose when you access the data from any UEFI application or Fury application, you want to debug the logic from external application. So at the time we can utilize this external breakpoint specifically. Okay, so this is the difference between session and external breakpoint. So this is the one way to set directly to that breakpoint on that code. Then when we execute this report, this will be called. So another this like as we know directly you can in the command bar you can enter the /h command. So /h command is give you to allow the debugging vary the next step. Suppose once you enter that /h command and that input field, so if you place execute person, that system is immediately went into the debugging mode. So these are the two ways we have to debug the logic. So I simply put a breakpoint on the select query. Okay, so let execute this one. So I enter that material information on the selection screen and click on execute button. So it went to the debugging. It stopped in the select query because I put a breakpoint here. So the basic very functional consultant don't know about this screen. So that I'm just give you the uh, analyze it mean deep technical details about this debugging screen. So how we can utilize, where we can check the data if you not know that technical details of that code. So we have different tabs are available. So the very first step is there are keys are available to debug the logic. Suppose I want to know, suppose here example, it is a select query. So first we have to understand the basic technical terms like examples how we have that internal tables, work areas, and database tables. So where we can check the data, so where we can fetching the data. So first we have to know that ABAP, little bit ABAP, not deep analyze. First we will understand the what is the select query, how we can utilize, and how to put that internal table. So that is the prerequisite for the debugging any person or technical or functional person. So first understand that logic, then we can easily debug, we easily understand the technical terminology. So here we have one select query written. So this means what here saying, get the destination logical system name, means we are calling the RFC function model to call to the from EWM to ECC. So as I told you, so what is required to connectivity, the logical system name is connectivity. So here in EWM system we are configured in the configuration we have defined the ECC logical system. So I am trying to get the ECC logical system name through the code. This is the select query. So what is this meaning? Select means we are going to select the record. What is that record name is logical system name. Okay, so I will show you. This is the from, this is the database table. Okay, you can also see. So where is the terminology from means it is a called as a database table name. So I'm just go and give you the details on SC11. So page the, so the SE11 is the transaction to show that database table. If any structures, internal table views, we can see here in SE11 transaction. So click on display. I enter the database. So this is the one configuration table. So we can check that the RFC destination logical system name. So if you so how to check that, either you can go the SM30 transaction to check that entries, or you can go here S11. So for checking that records, you click on that contents and click on that execute. So here this is the EWM system name and this is the RFC for that ECC. So I am going to get one record for that RFC destination to call that BAP calls. Here you can also see. So this is the RFC destination, ECC destination system name. Okay, let's go to the debugging. So here I am checking the getting the logical system field name is large system name. So here is the table name, and here we want to store into the table. This is the field name LV underscore ECC. Here we are read the data into temporarily. So if you double click on here, now currently it is a initial, no data available inside that LV underscore ECC log system. So with the condition function is C, I am passing the constant is C. So you can also check in the table. This is the function. So I am passing this function where condition is C, and another condition here I am passing the RFC destination as ECC EWM destination system name. So I am passing the EWM system name client 300. So I am passing this information. Okay, so I am getting the record as a EH7 client 800 into this ECC logical system name. So these are the, so how to move further statement. So four keys available, you can also see here. So this is the F5 single step, and this is the execute button. So this is the return, and this is the continue button. So if you click on that F5 button, single step button, so it will cursor moving to the next statement. Next statement here 37. This is the block of code. So we cannot say this is the step by step code. So it is a one executable package code to read the data. So when I click on that F5 button, it will went to the 37 line number. So it is a different statement. So 31 to 35 statement to read the data of the EC system. Now I am going to click on that F5 single step. So where is the cursor now? Now you can see that the yellow mark, arrow mark here, the position of cursor. It is saying the position. Here we are at that line number 31. If you click on that F5 button, it will go to the 37. Just observe that line number 31 and 37 here. I'm just going to click on the single step. Now cursor coming to the 37. So this it executed the this pack of code. Now you can see the data we are successfully fetched from the database table. Now we have that ECC system name EH4 client 800. And as a technical consultant, how I know, as a functional or technical consultant, how I know the system is read the data successfully or not. So there is an system fields are available like size sub RC. So if size sub RC gives you zero, mean its sub RC is zero, then we are get the record successfully from database table. So if it is not equal zero, something means something the data is not available based on your condition, or something the data is not existing the database table. So here through this size sub RC we can able to know that system gives you the perfect data or not. And the second one is execute button. Suppose here we have the function model. Suppose this is the function model, call function own logical system get. Suppose this logic this function model gives you the EWM system logical system name. This is the E74 client 300 is the EWM system for. So as I in the middle of session, middle of during this debugging, so I missed this, means I didn't put a breakpoint here, but somehow it is give. I am just feeling this is the wrong information. I want to debug this functionality. I want to go back to the 18th line number. So currently we are in the 37 line, mean 37 line. So if I want to debug this function model, I simply come out of the transaction and re-execute the report again to stop the this function model. So that is the one possible. So here are the SAP is provided to go back to that previous code and debug again. So that option here, so you can go here debugger and go to statement. So just put a cursor on the function model. So we want to again re-execute the logic. You want to debugging that existing previous logic. So simply put on a cursor, single click on that line number and go to debugger and click on the go to statement. So you can see the cursor move to the previous line statement 18. So here you can start the debugging. So for the next button is F6. F6 means, so if you click F5 button, it will go to the inside the function model own logical system name. If you press F6, it will executed backgroundly, the function model executed backgroundly and come to the next statement. 25 is the my statement and give you the data inside this one. So so here uh, you can also see LVEWM having some data. So before debugging, so how to remove that we can, if you want to you can also edit, delete the data available inside that EWM system. So here we have that button is available. So just click on this button and you can able to modify the button. Suppose during the session you can if you want to check the data, if it is not matching, you can also change that data if you want, and you can also delete the data, okay, during the debugging session only, not permanently data. So here if I press F6, it will automatically comes to the next statement. Let's see the different. I am telling F5 and F6. Now I am just pressing F6 button, so it cursor directly comes to the 25th line. It executed the function module logical background and gives the data inside the lu underscore logical system name. So this is the use of the F6. Means F6 button, you if you have any function model, you don't want to go inside and fetch the records. So you want to at a time, means backgroundly executed the logic and comes to the next statement. You can click on that F6. So if you want to go inside, suppose I want to go inside and do that debugging the logic of the function model, press F5 button. Observe here. So it will go to cursor go to this function model. So you can go and debug the function model. So that is the difference between the F6 and the F5. So F5 means it will go to the function model inside. F6 means backgroundly the function model logic will executed and comes to the next statement. And F7 means, so suppose example, uh, uh, here right side, suppose we have different tabs are available like desktop 1, desktop 2 and desktop 3. So there is no you can observe here different. So here this this is called this one logic is that it is an vertical mode. The logic is the one screen, and the remaining variable 1 variable 2 is that the bottom. So and you can also see the desktop. So this ABAP and screen stack information, this is the logic. What is this ABAP and screen stack? So you can see that 1 2 3 lines here. So the first we are the program is started the screen number means. So here we are started like here this is the selection screen and the user has entered the material information. So this is the first step. User has entered that material information. So we the first step is the selection screen. Selection screen number is the 1000. This is the technical details. The first step where you come from, the first step is the 1000. You are executed the 1000 screen and you are provided that material information. The second step is system run this the PAA model, means after that material information. So you have executed clicked on that execute button, so it comes to the second step. And third step is here. So the inside the report we have the startup selection, one event is available. So the system is called that event. So we are at that startup selection event. This means ABAP and stock screen is gives you the where you came from, where you go, means start and destination. Like suppose functional guys, suppose example, uh, inbound, like suppose we are starting that from staging area to the put away bin. So similarly here we are starting the staging area, material has having staging area, so we are traveling to the final put away. So similarly here the same step is technically called. So we are started the 1000 screen number and we are moving one by one. So this is that useful of the ABAP for to where we came from. So if any suppose you are doing put away for that one delivery. So suppose you want to that debugging. Suppose at the time of the warehouse task creation, at the time of that confirmation warehouse task. So we can see that the system flowing from how that system works and where that comes, and how to create it that warehouse detail within you can also see. And you can also jumping to that if you double click on it. you can also jump into that. But this image is showing, we cannot jump into that code. But wherever this editor is there, ABAP image showing here, so you can jump into that step. So I will show you that also. You can jump and check the logic, how that function is working, how the system is behaving on that code. So this is the use of the ABAP and screen stock. And go to the desktop 3. Here also same, that the desktop 1 and desktop 3 is the only difference here. The right side is showing and writes up that this variable 1, variable 2. Here we can able to check that data. The variable mean that system variable, like internal table utilizing the editor and the report or function model. The right side means what the data having the field name. Like suppose we have that internal table, right? If you want to show that internal table data, you can also double click on that internal table name. So and whatever data having inside, we can check that right side, right, value. And if you come scroll little bit down, just here gives you the technical details, what data here we are yeah, writing inside that label, what is that data element, what is the technical details, you can able to see here. Okay, this is the use of the desktop 3. The desktop 3 only different, you can able to see the details at bottom and you can able to see the left side, that is the only different. And the standard one, so standard one is, it's a mix of the desktop 1, 2, 3. So it is a combination of that three views into the one standard. So you can also see this variable 1, 2, 3 in that bottom, and as well as the above. So where you can directly go inside this into double click on that sequence number, you can directly jump into that step, and you can also see that information in one screen, standard screen. And the next one is structure, whatever fields having in that program, you can also see. Either you can also double click on that field name, you can directly see that information inside one. Either you can go here structure and you can able to enter that structure or information, you can also see that one, that is also possible. Next is table, same here also, if you have any table information, you can able to see here. And object means wherever you have that class, standard class, class methods, if you have any, you can also see the classes inside that object. And detailed display means if you have that any structure, the structure have like combination of fields, you can also see here. And data explore, same it is a. And here one more important tag is breakpoint. So I have put a breakpoint three places. One place is that one, the line number 31 and line number 37. So I put a breakpoint and line number 30. So similarly, I want to see that how many breakpoints are available during the session. So you can go and check that one. So here this tab is gives you that information. Here also you can see that session breakpoint, we have set a session. As I told you, we have two breakpoints are there, session and breakpoint. This gives you the clarity. So debugger breakpoint, I simply put a breakpoint on the line number 18, line number 37 and line number 30. So this gives you the breakpoint information having in the code. So difference also same, not useful. So script, so if you want to modify the logic during the session, you can also directly write the logic during the session. Only it works for the debugging only, not for the permanently. So skip for this one. But we have useful tab so far as a consultant. Standard is a useful to get that information of steps of the program flow as well as the breakpoint. So these two tabs are useful to debug the system. And also you can also see that keys. So based on your requirement, you can go with this option. Either you can debug the step by step, you're following, right? Or any question, please ask me. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, Bala. I think
Okay,
let,
thank you.
let me stop recording, and then if anybody is having any issues,
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Okay, so how can we judge when we have
more coding.
have more coding?
Yeah, first we just forget about that more coding. So that is scare words to that consultant. So first of all, we have to understand the business requirement. Suppose there is a requirement, like suppose you are given that information for the basic details of to confirm the whereas. Suppose we have that inbound delivery, so you have put an go to the function and put a create that warehouse task, right? To it creating the warehouse task for the put away. So you have to, somewhere we got that error, like suppose source beans are not available, something you got that error message, you want to debug the functionality where that master data, you know that master data somehow you have maintained that bin information on that particular fixed storage type or something. It is master data is maintained perfectly, but somehow system is not able to pick that information, and not you didn't get that exact information where the system is getting failed. So that time first, this is our business scenario first of all. So we, so from from step 1 to step end, so if you want to debug, it will give you that 1 or 2 days to enter debug the functionality. So first we have to understand where we are going to create that warehouse task. Suppose example, so first we have to understand what are the function model utilizing the this entire functionality. Suppose there are few function modules and few tables are available during this functional. For example, this inbound delivery. So we got that error message at the time of warehouse task creation. So first we will find that what are the function model utilized, and you can go and simply put a breakpoint on that function model. Either you can, we have some different technical tips for to debug that one. Suppose example, as your question, suppose I found this function model. I example for that where task was created, for that confirmation this function model is trigger. So as you mentioned, the heavy code is available. So here that 12 lines are available. So first we will go with that put a breakpoint and the simply put a breakpoint and the line number state one number. So first we have to understand the basic concept of that ABAP thing. So these are the clear statement. These are the here that one more function. Let's forget about this log. This logic is for uh, this from one from line number 1 to line number 21. These are unused code. These are the comment code. No use for this code. So this is the commented code. So wherever you find this gray out code, so it is non-executable. It is commented code. So it is never used inside the function module. So you can skip this one, and you can also skip this data, whatever data it is, like syntax is there. This is the declaration code. So you can also this forget, it is utilizing, it is the definition part, it is not used directly. So it is, you can also see consider it this definition part, you can ignore this code also. So where that the actual logic is comes from the 31 line. Okay, so here clear means it's clearing the data inside the internal table or structure, a cleaner, and some looping is there. Now actual code is comes from the 41, something here function module is available, it is the confirming the function module. So based on these lines of coding, you can go little. So as I told you, prerequisite is for debugging. So first we have to understand the basic syntaxes. What is that internal table, what is the select query, what is the function model, what is the class. Just Yeah, so go here inside and put breakpoint here, line number 2, line number 41. Then you can go and debug this function model. So if you have any errors, you can also solve that one. That is the one option. And the second option, suppose you know that error message. Suppose you at the time of confirmation or creation task, you will get that error message. Suppose example, I will give. So first we have to get that message ID, message number, error message number, or that one. How to get that one? I will give you one example. Suppose I'm running the PRDI. Let's execute any. So I'm just giving that how to get that message number and message. Suppose I am just getting this message. Example, this is the one message I got during the put away. So where we can get that one? Suppose double click on that error message. So this pop-up will appear. So go to the technical information. So here we'll get that information. Suppose this is the one, this is the message ID and this is the message number. So like assume this is the error message, I want to debug on this message. So go to debugging mode, very starting point, at the time of Vero task creation, just put a /h command on the input field, and this debugger will the next step is the debugger screen appear, and here you can just go to breakpoint and create breakpoint at and message. This is the one shortcut to directly go to that message. Here suppose I example I put a breakpoint message ID. This is my message ID where we got that error message. So this is the message number, and you can go here direct message under the message tab and just put a breakpoint message ID and message number. So and click on continue. So whenever you put a breakpoint and the message ID and message number, and click on that execute button, the debugger, the system will stop you at the time of error message only. Now that if stop that error, wherever that error message appear, that time the debugger will stop you. Then you can analyze and do that stuff on that error message. You can also qualify where we have that get that error message. So this is the shortcut key to avoid the large code of information. So similarly, so if you have that function model, any statement, suppose if you want to suppose for example one business require, we have to find that one enhancement or body to give the technical person to implement the body for our business requirement. That body is not configurable, not getting in SPRO transaction. So how to find that one? Suppose we have few technical shortcut available, like example. So very steps. Suppose in the same business scenario, in that inbound delivery, I want to know that all enhancement, which one is trigger, how many bad days or how many announcement available during the put away. So you simply put two statement. One is get baddie and one is call baddie. If you put these two above statement during the put away, it will stop you the at the time of these two statement called the standard logic, and you will get that bad information on these two statement. Okay, this is the one way to uh, do the debugging. And if you have any direct class name and method name, you can directly jump, and system gives you stop you at the time of a breakpoint. And also you can also, if you have any function model or any from, so if you have any message, so this is the useful option any consultant to create breakpoint to avoid unnecessary debug the logic. Okay, and useful, understood, or any questions?
No,
It's
Bala, good explanation, Bala.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, how to find the program name or like the function which like that is like can you help me?
How to find the program name?
program. Yeah, if you are executing any T code, right, like ME10
Uh-huh.
or ME50, ME11,
Uh-huh.
we need to find the program name. Means if you want to share with the
FM name, right? Function model name, you mean?
yes, exactly.
So, example, this is the PRDA transaction. Okay. So, suppose you want to find out the any T code program name. Suppose just run the SC93 transaction. So here you can go inside the example PRDA. This is the standard maintaining model. So click on the display button. So you can see this is the program name. You will get the what is the program is assigned the T code. You will find this information. So program name. If you double click on the program name, it will give you the logic. Suppose in the this is the standard report or a standard transaction as this report is assigned the standard transaction PRDA. So this is the logic inside the transaction. So at the time of PRDA run, so this function model is called. So if you go to the function model, so there is a logic behind that function model. So if you want suppose that the very step, suppose that one user is run the ticket but he didn't have that authorization, you want to get the details, technical details of the what are that authorization fail, you can also come. So here one authorization here is this where is that one? Yeah, authority check T code. This is the function model to get that authorization of the T code or not. So here you can also see that information. What is that authorization T code? What are that useful? If you give that security name, then he will go and assign that authorization for particular. So you can put a breakpoint here to get that authorization details. Okay, so you can also sometimes suppose in our non-production environment, sometimes that functional consultant doesn't have that authorization. So how for time being, how to skip that authorization? Suppose example, I don't have authorization on particular transaction code. For time being, I want to skip that authorization code. How to skip that authorization code? So uh, for this is useful for testing. Suppose you can put a breakpoint on that this function model authority check T code. Suppose whenever you call that any transaction, so go inside that authorization T code. So put a breakpoint at the time of call authorization T code. Put a breakpoint here. Suppose I run that PRDO transaction. Suppose example, I put a breakpoint on the authorization check T code. I am running the one transaction. Suppose PRDO transaction. See the very next step, it stop me that debugging stop me the that authorization T code. See, so here I told you that size of burst is equal to 0, then you can able to exit rank. If size of bars is not equal to 0, sometime I don't have authorization. Example, PRDO I don't have authorization. I simply make it as a 5. Suppose example, I not equal 0 means you don't have authorization. See, we will get that in error message. Uh, but somewhere it is checking. But if you don't have the authorization, it will give you the not equal to 0. 1 minute. I am just yeah. Suppose it is a not equal 0 and simply put a break. I'm changing that value size of as 4. You will get that error message. So it's multiple time checking. No. Suppose if you don't have authorization any. So what I mean to say here, so you can put a breakpoint on the function model. If you change the suppose here we are getting the size of bars in not equal 0. So you can simply set as a 0, then you can able to access that transaction for time being. So this is the one useful function model to change the authorization. Okay, So this is the way to debug that functionality. So you no need to debug that from step 1 to step n. So wherever you require, so you have to first analyze the business requirement where you want to stop that cursor, then just go to that place and get the debugging. So the right example is here that if you want to find that enhancement on the particular transaction, so you simply go with that call function like call statement like get body, call body, and if you simply put that statement the debugging, then it will only stop you at the time of the enhancement trigger. Okay, so here this is the way go to that SC37 transaction to get that details of the end transaction code. Any questions?
Bala, nowadays we are having the workflow for the PO approval, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when we are trying in development and quality, we are the the approver will be the we are not the approvers because we are the consultant. Sometimes it will be the some other persons. If you
Okay.
want to approve the forcefully to the workflow,
Mm-hmm.
may know we are having some option right for in the ABAP in SWE API thing.
Uh,
So, do you have any idea that?
no, is it first question is it workflow trigger backgroundly or foregroundly?
It's background.
Backgroundly.
Yeah.
So if it is workflow trigger backgroundly, so that is a bit complex to debug that one because that background has schedule. You have something done and it's trigger backgroundly. So if you put a breakpoint on that particular line code, it won't trigger because
Okay.
it set as a background.
But
So
I
yeah.
think that we have one option that forcefully we can approve that one means for just for means to go to next step like that. That's all.
Uh-huh.
Other yeah.
So yeah, so something one I didn't remember, but one thing is we can do that one to workflow executing Bravo and Raju. Suppose if you debug that workflow and somewhere you have that approver, you have given that approval list, right?
Yes.
So in the debugging, you can set your in username or something your ID into that table. Then you will get that approval button. That is the
Okay.
shortcut
Okay.
thing. For time being, you can give the your ID into that table to flow or trigger that workflow through your ID. That is the shortcut for, but not for permanently fixing, but the temporarily. If you got any approver but in non-production system, then you can simply maintain during the debugging for your ID.
I think,
Bala,
yeah,
Bala, actually, I think, he was talking about the task, and in the task, there will, we can assign the user ID and continue that process. We'll get all the tasks in one particular T code, right? SWE or admin, workflow admin T code.
Uh-huh.
He
Yeah.
was talking about that
HWI.
one, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he was
Exactly.
talking about that one, I think.
Okay, so what is I'm not understand that. So you can go the transaction, you can assign that your ID, then you will get that approver of the workflow, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what where we need to that assign that ID. That in that which table it will be like workflow.
Okay, you want me ask that? Okay, workflow.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I think we can further extend that to discussions maybe next week. So because if more data is discussing and then we always we will forget everything. I think, yeah. Will that be okay that we can discuss next week on this same subject, Bala?
Yeah, I'm available next week. Yeah, we will do.
So, yeah, guys, sorry for that. I mean, like, yeah, we are already having a discussion almost since 1 hour. Thank you, Bala, for excellent explanation, whatever you have done. I mean, like, we understood very clearly what is about desktop 1, 2, 3 and standard, and also debugging. I mean, like F5, F6, F7, and F8. Thank you very much. And then, yeah, how to get the debugging access and access and everything. So let me stop recording and then we can talk about any other things. Otherwise, we'll continue next week.